Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Benton City City Council meeting for March 15th, 2022. I'm going to now call the meeting to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Wadsworth,
Here.
Councilman Sandretto,
Here.
Councilman Moakler,
Here.
Councilman Reed,
Here.
all present, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see. I forget who I put on the spot last week, but maybe I'll try Mr. Reed this time. Would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure thing. All rise, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, first item is the consent agenda. And we have the regular meeting minutes from March 1st and the bills and communications.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
are you looking for approval of the consent agenda as read?
I'm looking for the approval of the consent agenda, yes.
I move to approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Please.
Moakler, aye.
Aye.
Reed, aye.
Sandretto, aye.
Wadsworth, aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Now we will have the approval of the agenda.
Madam Mayor, I don't know if this is the right time, but I do want to put an item for discussion on the agenda. The
Okay.
appointment of the recreation coordinator.
Oh, yes, that's what the one we forgot.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's the discussion item.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else?
No, not to my knowledge.
Okay. So once again, I ask for approval of the agenda as amended, please.
I motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I have a second.
Second.
Was that Mr. Sandretto?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Moakler, aye. Sandretto, aye.
Reed, aye.
Wadsworth, aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. We have no proclamations and announcements that I know of, but we do have a visitor comment. We have a request from Sarah Funk. So Sarah, if you'd like to have the floor.
Madam Mayor, may I have the floor?
Yes, you may.
She's wanting to do a visitor's comment on an agenda item. Do we do it? Are you wanting to do it now? Or are you wanting to do it at the time of the item?
No, we'll do it on the agenda item.
Okay.
Okay,
There is no other visitors' comments besides
Okay.
that one.
okay, thank you. Okay, it's time for our regular reports. Sheriff's report by Commander Clark.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor. Tonight, we don't have a whole lot to put out there. Our calls for service are down from 2021, the same month. We did have 30 case offense that we investigated there in Benton City. One of them, when you look over the report, there is a weapons complaint in there. With that weapons complaint, just to share with everybody, That was a subject that we arrested on warrants, who was a known felon, was found to be in possession of a firearm. So that's where you see the weapons complaint. Other than that, again, we have not seen many trends in Benton City. Things are going well. We continue to be out there working the school zones, visiting the schools, and doing what we need to do. So that is really all we have, which again is a good report from us.
Yeah, that's good news, I think. All right.
Madam Mayor, can I have the floor?
Yes.
Commander Clark, do we want to discuss the new apparatus we have for the community, the joint venture between the fire department and the sheriff?
We can discuss that. I know that I met with the chief today.
Yeah.
And we are going to put that out to the media and the public once it's fully operational. It's still during the break-in period, but
Sorry,
since we
my
mentioned-
excitement jumped the gun.
No, it is very exciting. Yes, we partnered together. The Benton County Sheriff's Office partnered together with the fire department, and we purchased a flat-bottom jet boat that's going to be used on the Yakima River for swift water rescues. Anything that we need in that area. We felt that would be a great asset to the community, whether it comes from people enjoying the waterways, there's a rescue needed. We will have that ability to work with the fire department to get that jet boat launched into the Yakima. With that, it is going to be housed there in Benton City. The fire department is sending, and I guess, Mr. Reed, do you want to kind of go on a little bit on that?
Sure. Currently, we have a 9-member swiftwater rescue team, fully trained up, ready to go. We've been kind of on this boat venture for about 3 years, and it looks like we're finally closing the fine little intricate details and getting ready to start training on it and everything else. And to be completely honest, I think it's a very needed resource. Typically, we wait for dive rescue. We're not cutting out our partnership with dive rescue, but this will give a resource and a quicker response to the Prosser Benton City area. But yeah, it's been a long time in the making, and Benton County Sheriff's Office has been really great with helping with this project, and I can't tell you how much the city and the fire department here appreciates that. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you both. That's great. Very
Yes,
good
and Mayor, hopefully on the next meeting, we'll be able to, obviously when we put it out on the water, everyone will be invited out there. We'll do a press release with the chief and the sheriff, so everybody can see the new boat. And then we can also get a photo, hopefully, for the next meeting, so we can share that as well.
Sounds great. How about free rides? Are we able to go?
we might be able to do that.
Okay.
Commander Clark, please extend our thank you to the law enforcement and dispatchers around here. I think their presence they're doing a phenomenal job, very personable. We love having them around. So on behalf of Benton City, thank you.
Thank you. And I'll second that because
Appreciate it.
I've just enjoyed everyone that I've met from the departments. So fantastic. All right. Thank you. So our next reports, we have the ABHL. I did it again, Margaret. AHBL Planners Report. Is Nicole here to give the report?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
We provided an update, which gives you a review of the last 3 months or so since we did our last quarterly update. As you'll see, we've been quite busy. I would highlight that our staff has we've had some staffing challenges because we have someone out on family member leave, maternity leave, but she'll be returning soon. But we're excited to have someone in our Pasco office, of course, welcoming a new baby, but that means that we've been sorting our work around with different offices. But that's one thing that's nice about, I think, our services and our availability to Benton City, that we do have staff members that can come and assist us from our other offices. So with that being said, in terms of general tasks that we've completed, I noted that we continue to review site plans and plot plans that were submitted with building permits. This was something that started fairly recently. about the beginning of December. And during that time, we've gone through a bunch of permits, and we actually have caught a lot of corrections of various types that needed to be returned to the applicant and then brought back to the city. Way a lot more than I would have expected, actually. So I think it's good that we're able to review those for you and make sure that they are providing all the correct information on site plans when different structures are being built in the city. I've noted that we have been involved with pre-application meetings, providing guidance to and answering questions from your staff. We've certainly been referred many times. Folks that have questions to City Hall would be referred over to us. We can answer their questions about zoning, subdivisions, different property type questions, of course. We have been involved with the public hearings related to planning, the different actions of the Planning Commission and City Council, and so on and so forth. There's also some interesting things going on. FEMA is doing a new hydrologic and hydraulic modeling effort. So we've been involved in those meetings, reporting back to other city staff about what's happening with that. We've done a lot of training, just answering general questions and providing some recommendations to the city clerk on different things. We did provide a 1-hour training session to the Planning Commission. During that time, we really focused in on what's the difference between a legislative and a quasi-judicial item, and how different things that the Planning Commission review in the course of their work need to be treated differently according to what category applications fall into, and how the Open Public Meetings Act or Appearance of Fairness Doctrine applies. So that was great, especially with having new Planning Commission members. And then now I'll go on to some of the different project tasks. So we're working on a short plat and a variance that is still underway. We are working on a commercial site plan and an alley vacation. That project is currently on hold, but we've continued to make as much progress as we can, helping to move that project forward. As you're aware, there was a recent annexation to the city for the Jaron property, and we were able to assist with that. Even following passage of the ordinance by the city council, we helped with the paperwork that needed to go to the Office of Financial Management to make sure that all the T's were crossed, all the I's were dotted, and so forth, so that everything was completed as necessary. Again, you'll recall the Vintners Vista preliminary plat. That's a rather large project for us. We helped the city through every step of the process, provided that staff analysis to you, and coordinated for all of the procedures and processes around that. The Allen utility easement vacation is complete. That was a rather minor role that we had, but that did require a resolution and then an ordinance to get that through. We are working still on the comprehensive plan update. As you may recall, you docketed that item back in the fall time. So the 2021 docket will now be moving along to the Planning Commission. We've given them a head start preview in a workshop where we've introduced the different items that are on the docket, and they're ready now for a public hearing, which will be next month. We did the Pepper Preppers Kitchen commercial site plan review. We also completed some initial work looking at a proposed rezone for Babs Meadows. We are working on the 11th Street SEPA, 11th Street Extension SEPA review. There is a preliminary plat that we are reviewing at this time for completeness. And finally, I'm happy to report back that the SMP periodic update finally received that final approval that we're waiting from Ecology on. And then subsequent to that, we provided a final and clean document to the city. It's now up on the website. So that went through actually quite well and smoothly. And I know that the city benefited from getting grant from Ecology, and we were able to use that and stay within budget to get that periodic update complete. So we are proud and happy to be working for you, and I thank you for letting us support your planning efforts. Thanks.
Thank you, and we're very happy to have you as well. Okay, the next is the treasurer's report. Are there any questions of Rebecca on the treasurer's report? If not, we'll move on then to code enforcement animal control. Jennifer, are you going to speak to this?
Yes, I will. I just hope everybody's having a good night and wanted to say congratulations to the fire department, the sheriff's department on the jet boat, and also express how I appreciate AHBL's guidance as well. I've used them quite a bit. Want to say thanks to them. So from February 11th, 2022 to March 11th, public contact has been 47. Notice to complies warnings. There's been 11 dog controls, 2 stop work orders. That's either no permit or business license, 5 abandoned vehicles, 23 dog licenses were issued during that time. Impounded animals is 2 DOAs, 5 dogs, 4 released to owners, and 4 welfare checks. Permits issued was 15. We had 10 new residential homes, 1 new commercial warehouse, and HVAC replacement install, a new fence, and 3 right-of-way alterations. So, and that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Okay. Hearing none?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Jennifer's been busy, as we can see. Okay. Moving on now to the next item. It's items for approval, ordinances, resolutions, and contracts. AHBL Task Order 2200-500.69, modification for I-82 South Sub-Area Plan. Nicole, I guess you're back on.
Sure. So the council did approve a task order some time ago for us to work on that sub-area plan. And I've delineated just a couple of the minor changes that we're now requesting as we move forward with that. Essentially, we're just asking for a bump up in the budget of about $8,000. And in doing so, we'll be able to work with what will be a subcontractor to AHBL that we haven't contracted with yet, but the mayor has requested, and that firm will be able to provide some really nice drawings and renderings and conceptual plans that will help bring this plan together, and also just provide some additional deliverables that could be used for, say, marketing or communications to the community about the potential out there once we get that plan done, and we can move forward with, as we hope, the landowner out there, Department of Natural Resources, to look at different development options out there and kind of try to drive for the highest and best use. So that's our request tonight. Thanks.
Okay, are there any other questions for Nicole?
Madam Mayor, I don't have a question for Nicole, but I'd like to address yourself and the council.
Okay.
Where, in regards to the sub-area plan, I don't know exactly how big you were looking at making that, but noticing what's going on with the current gravel pit there, I think the council, as well as your office, needs to look at de-annexing some of that property.
Yes, we were going to de-annex that.
Okay, so that we can re-annex some other property where we can expand and.
Right. Yes, I think that was Nicole's plans. She suggested that we do that some time ago. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of what that's looking like out there at this time.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay. Thank you. So, okay, back to the item on the table, which is the AHBL task order amendment. Do I have a motion?
Before a motion's made, I would like to suggest that we look at pulling back and not approving this. One, to save a little bit of money towards the city, and two, to maybe put this into somewhere else that could bring more to the city.
That's not up to me, I guess, but I think this has the potential to be huge for the city and the whole county. We're only asking for 8,000, and we do have enough money because some of this expenses was put in the wrong pot, according to Rebecca. And so we did have an extra bump in our general fund, which would easily cover this.
Madam Mayor, may I have the floor?
Yes, you may.
Okay, and with regards to what the mayor's talking about, when this came to my attention of increasing the task order, Nicole let me know that they have already been working on it and how much they have spent out of the $55,000 that were budgeted. So when I reviewed the budget, I noticed that nothing was in the budget as being spent. So I went to our AP, and when this project first started, she was told to put everything under the general fund, which is incorrect. It should have gone to the I-82 fund. So with recoding those bills, it put back about $20,000 into the general fund, where my suggestion would be to cover these funds would be to do an inter-fund transfer from the general fund for the 8,000 into the I-82 for these. We do have a line item and it will require a budget adjustment, which if you guys approve, I will be bringing to the council once the reconciliations are done to see exactly where we stand with our budget. With this also, bias brought to my attention that the balances brought forward, some of them were not correct. So I'm working on that as well to do a possible full budget amendment once that gets fixed as well.
So the other item that we have is that we have approved to put sewer and water as part of our ARPA funding over there. So I would hate to hold all that up. I think we have a lot riding on this, and we're putting in for grants as well for additional planning, advanced planning. So anyway, I would urge you to go ahead and let's get this part finished.
Madam Mayor, may I have the floor?
Yes, you may.
So I'm not disagreeing with your stance on working that particular project, and I tend to agree that we need to move forward on that corridor project. But I also want to acknowledge Councilman Moakler and his concern of costs. We do need to keep an eye on costs. I mean, and no offense to our contractors, but all of our contractors are making a pretty penny off the city. And we need to kind of watch those costs and start planning appropriately for replacing those contractors with city staff. So I urge the city administration to look at that in the future. I yield.
Yes, that's been under discussion also with Rebecca and I.
Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and make the motion to amend the task order with the additional costs.
Okay,
Second.
thank you. All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Aye. Sorry.
Mochler, no.
Reed, aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. All right. Our next agenda item is lift station number 2, change order 1, and Mr. Rainey.
Madam Mayor, may I have the
Yeah.
floor?
Yes, you may.
I received a text from Alan at 6:41 saying he won't be able to make the meeting tonight. I know that Jose's on, I think.
Oh, okay, good.
So if the council has any questions, maybe he can answer them, but Alan is not here.
Maybe Jose can just tell us a little bit about this.
Hello, everybody. So, yeah, basically the change order for the lift station was to, for the extra CDF on the backfill of the lift station. And then with that, we did some changes on the plans we removed 2 sewer manholes to compensate for the cost of the extra CDF. So there was a change order on that as well, but yeah, everything's moving along just great.
Can you tell us what a CDF is?
So CDF is basically diggable concrete. So because we hit the water table at 9 feet and the lift station itself is 23 feet, we had to use CDF to keep that lift station from floating up while it was being put in the ground. So that was the purpose of that.
Okay.
Yeah, but everything's moving along good, and the contractor's doing an awesome job, and I think they'll be able to complete the job on time. I'm guessing within this week, next week, they should be about done with the lift station. And then also the SCADA system, the electrical panel, everything was getting put in today. So like I said, I think they're just going to run through all the electrical, make sure everything's functioning correctly, and then put it to use hopefully next week, early next week, midweek next week.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Jose? Okay, hearing none, I would accept a motion.
Okay, I guess I'll run it again, Madam Mayor. I move to accept change order. I believe that was number 2 or 1.
Number 1.
Number 1 for additional CDF. That's it.
The amount is $41,526.66.
Sorry about that. I forgot it's.
That's okay.
Let me pull that back up. In the amount of $41,526.66.
Thank you. Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Mochler, aye.
Reed, aye.
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay. The next item is cancellation of the April 5th City Council meeting. Rebecca.
The reason this was brought up as an action item is that week is spring break week. That is scheduled to be our first in-person meeting now that the mask mandate has been lifted. I will be in training in Portland, so I won't be able to attend. We don't have Shane to assist. And JB is on a modified schedule right now due to some issues, so he won't be able to run the meeting as well. So, and I also don't know if any of you guys are planning to take time off, being spring break with your kids. So I brought it up to the mayor and suggested that we bring it to council, see if you guys want to cancel that meeting, since as of right now, there is no pertinent time sensitive things that need to be approved. But the decision is up to you guys.
Madam Mayor, may I have the floor?
Yes, you may.
Rebecca, for me, I can go either way. I don't have anything going on that week. But in the opposite to that, I'm meetinged out pretty much at this point. So a day off would be good. But that's just my standpoint on it. So
Anyone else have an opinion?
Madam Mayor, may I have the floor?
Yes, you may.
I could go either way, same as Andretto. I'm free, but I'm not opposed or against attending or not attending. So whatever works for everybody else, I'm in favor of.
Okay.
Also, just to let you guys know, AHBL will be on vacation as well. So we won't even have them as well. So.
Okay. Mr. Reed and Mr. Mochler? Any opinions?
I don't object either way. I've got 6 other meetings that day, so I'd rather railroad through it or take an early day, but either way.
Okay.
I'll go with the group consensus.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. So I guess we will not have a meeting on the 5th. Okay, moving forward. Do we need a vote on that, Rebecca?
I would say it's best just to have one, just to have it on record that council voted not to have the meeting.
Madam Mayor, I move to cancel the April 5th council meeting at the direction of staff due to conflicts with childcare and other issues, training for the spring break week.
I'll second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Dendro,
Reed, aye.
Wadsworth, aye.
Okay. Thank you. Motion carries. Okay. The next item for discussion is the fire inspections and business licenses.
That's me again.
That's you.
Okay, so I think it was about a week or two ago, it was brought to my attention about the fire inspections and business licenses. I haven't been really working with the business licenses. That has been given to JB as he's the deputy city clerk and he's handling that. However, these fire inspections were brought up by Jenny, who's on tonight, about how they're paid for and where we put them. And I reviewed the ordinance for business licenses, and nowhere on there did I find that a fire inspection is required for a business license. And I didn't find it on our resolution either for fees. So as you saw on the memo, in past practice, it was part of the business license fee, which to my understanding, Jenny, correct me if I'm wrong, Northwest Code does our fire inspections, and we get charged $75 a pop every time they're done. And that's money we're not collecting from the businesses. So we are basically losing money on that part, where every time a fire inspection is done for a business, and again, per past practice, every business license needs one, we are losing out $75. So Bill, since you're on here, I couldn't find where it is a requirement per our code. I couldn't find if it was a state requirement as well. So I came to you guys to discuss, to see if we're wanting to update the code and the fee resolution to add it as a requirement, and then add it as a fee so we can actually charge for it. So we are not out money.
Yeah, Madam
As
Mayor,
well.
may I have the floor?
Yes, you may.
I could probably throw some insight into this, and I would probably have to clarify this with, fire marshal personnel. So when we send in our third-party contractor for, let's say here we have Northwest Code Professionals or whoever does our building inspections, there's certain regulations with the IBC, International Fire Code, International Building Code. Sorry, I'll quit using acronyms. I know they get confusing after a while. Anytime we have a permit where there's a substantial change in the occupancy or a substantial change in the venue type. So if we're going from, let's say, an educational occupancy to a residential occupancy, building wise, not zoning, not land, those fire inspections must take place to bring the building up to the current code. I'm sure stuff like adding an HVAC system to a business is not going to constitute, a full reinspection of the entire thing. But I do know any new construction, and I know any substantial change of venue or a certain percentage of construction does require fire inspections during the initial permit inspection. And my question is does our third party building inspector perform those prior to our occupancy permit given?
For occupancy, I don't know, but with business licenses, give me 1 minute, Jenny. It's been past practice that every business that comes in to apply for a business license has to get one.
Mm-hmm.
And even when they renew, they have to get one. So that's basically money out of our pocket, because we have to pay Northwest Code for every inspection that they do. And when I used to work for the city of Othello, I knew that they had to be done like on restaurants that have commercial grade kitchens.
What? Yeah.
And like home occupations see if they have the fire stuff, fire extinguishers, because there's a business in a home. But it wasn't something that was required on renewals or anything like that. So that's where I come to you guys for direction as to how you want me to proceed. But Jenny has more information, so I'll go ahead and give her the floor.
Thanks, Rebecca. So from what I've noticed is when I look in the permit pack for Northwest Codes, it looks like the businesses are having fire inspections once a year. And I believe that's partly because they also are checking the fire extinguishers at that point, which is huge. So it's giving them, their year inspection. They do a basic inspection on build, but I did ask about that the other day, and the fire inspection is a separate thing. So I did notice it is charged through permit pack, which it looks like we've been using like maybe 4 to 5 years. And so it's been charged every year, but that's when I brought it to Rebecca's attention and realized, they were being combined with the business licenses. So in reality, what I seen is you're taking in money with the business licenses. You're getting charged by Northwest Codes $55, which you're not intaking, from the business. And so we're paying that out, which is fine if that's how we wanted to go about it. But now we switched to the state. So now, and the fire inspections have raised up to $75 through Northwest Codes. So I think that's why it's a yearly one, is to check everything as well as fire extinguishers and all that, because I upload receipts and they check those too when they go out. So that's it.
Yeah, in my opinion, for some, and like I said, I'm gonna have to check into this some more. I know any kind of change of venue, like we were talking about, Rebecca, changing to a restaurant from a retail business, you have range hoods and certain hazards and stuff that require those. To my knowledge, it's up to the actual business owner to maintain, and we can make it a provision of their reissuance of the business license on a year to year that they maybe produce some kind of a receipt or documentation that they're keeping up with their fire extinguisher inspections on their own. That's a good question. Is this something we can table, and maybe we can come back in 2 weeks and maybe we can have some clearer answers?
Yes, I think that would be good.
Yeah, like I said, I came to you guys for your guys' direction on what the council wanted me to do. I did see it as, first of all, it's not in our ordinance as a requirement, and also as the city's losing money, because if we're including it in our business license fees for the initial inspection, and okay, we can put that it's theirs to maintain, we're still losing money on that initial application, because they're charging us $75 a pop, and we're only charging $55 for the business license. So basically all the business license money is going to them.
And the state is doing our licenses now. That's how it came about, because normally, I know with my fourplex, boy, the girls stayed on me. I had to have a fire inspection every year. So I got a contract with Oxart, and now they're changed hands. So I'll have to get a new contract. So anyway, I think it's important for us to sort it out, and we'll need your information first, Bill.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that this week. Send out an email.
Okay. So we'll wait for your response and then bring it up at the next council meeting, and I'll do some more research. Research on that.
I know fire inspections are required for an overhaul.
Yeah.
Whatever our city code, and I know for a change of venue, but as far as year-to-year business licenses, I'm not 100% sure. So
yeah, so we'll with your guys' direction, then we'll go ahead and table it for another discussion at the next council meeting when we have more information. And as I said, I'll do more research into the past practices of how it used to be done, so I can come to you guys with numbers as is to either adding it to the resolution fee or upping our business license prices to where we don't lose money.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. So we'll take this up again. All right, the next item on the agenda is the council size change. And this is on the agenda because last year we decided to come back and look at it after 1 year.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
motion to table for another year.
Okay, we do have someone that would like to speak on this issue, I believe. Would you like to hear her comments first, or?
If she'd like to speak, that's fine. But I'm okay with tabling it until next year again.
Okay. Sarah, did you want to speak to this? Sarah, are you there?
It seems like she left.
Okay,
No,
All
she's
right.
in there. She's
I don't
just
see her.
not unmuting.
I don't see her on, oh, there she is. Let me ask her to unmute. She probably stepped away from her computer.
okay. All right. So I guess we can move forward, and then if she wants to make a comment afterwards, she can.
Madam Mayor, point of order. We're gonna need a second to table that.
I'll go and second that.
If I could, and just so we're clear, if we do a motion to table, then we can't do that for a period of 1 year. The tabling motion would just set it over to our next regular meeting, and if we didn't take action at that point, it would expire. So if we
Okay.
wanted to set it out for a date certain, we just do a motion to postpone. Sorry, I know it's
Okay.
technicality.
Well, motion to postpone until 1 year from today.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Sandretto, aye.
Reed, aye.
Hopewell, aye.
Wadsworth, aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. We'll ask one more time, Mrs. Funk, if she would like to speak. Going once? Going twice? Okay, I guess we'll move on. All right. All right, then the next item is introduction of our Director of the Parks Program. She was here last year and actually started with Brenda Williams to take over the program as Brenda moved to Portland. And so she is willing to come back. So she will be working with us. In fact, has started the planning process already. And just letting you know that she's coming back. I don't believe it requires a confirmation of her again for the second time, but the attorneys can let me know if that's a false assumption. So it's just the
We
announcement.
accept this for simply a discussion item, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, if we're not taking any action on the item, that's fine.
Okay. But do we need to have a confirmation of her again?
Was this employee confirmed prior or the
Yes.
appointment
Yeah.
ratified? But yeah, no. Once
Yeah,
it's sufficient,
She was confirmed last year.
yeah. Doesn't need to
Okay.
be reconfirmed.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we will end the council meeting and move into executive session for probably 20 minutes. Does everyone agree, 20 minutes?
That should be fine.
Okay,
So, Madam Mayor,
Yeah.
resuming at 8:10, is that correct?
if my watch is right. Yeah,
Okay.
that looks about right.
I was just reading some of the rules on executive sessions the other day. And
Okay,
it said to
good.
do a specific time, so.
Thank you for setting us straight. Okay, so the regular meeting is adjourned. And if everyone,
I am out of the executive session just to advise that we will be another 5 minutes. Thank you. Hello, this is the city clerk coming out of executive session. Council has requested an extra 10 minutes. We will be back at 8:29. Thank you. Are we all back? Yes. Okay. Go ahead, Madam Mayor. You're muted, Madam Mayor. You're still muted. There you go.
Okay. Okay, the regular council meeting is reopened. And are there any general council comments?
Madam Mayor, may I have the floor?
Yes, you may.
Just to give the council a little update, I attended the WMCA Spring Training Academy today. I will be out of the office the rest of the week for WMCA Clerks Conference to get an update on my CMC. Today's class was on ethics and value, which I found very, very informing. And with that, I came back that not a lot of cities have code of ethics in place. There was very few hands that went up that have an actual code of ethics for city council and stuff up, which kind of was surprising to me. But I would just want to say thank you to you, Madam Mayor, and the council for allowing me to go to this training to advance my knowledge and my position with the city.
You're welcome. And Rebecca, did they give out any samples of those ethics codes?
No, they did not. They didn't, and they didn't specify what cities do and what cities don't. It was just a hand. There was like 60 ladies in there today. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And gentlemen.
Okay, Mr. Moakler had requested some time ago that we develop ethics code, and we had a draft. It was extremely long. So I don't know exactly where we are with that at this point, but we were looking for something. Maybe you could contact some of the clerks tomorrow when you go back over there and see if you can find some examples for us.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, general council comments?
Madam Mayor, may I have the floor?
Yes, you have the floor.
Since our last meeting, I attended the Ben Franklin Transit Marketing and Planning meeting. I have been appointed chair of that committee. I also attended the regular board meeting. There was discussion about Ben Franklin Transit and fare services, and we purchased some property in downtown Pasco to extend a hub down into that region. And that will end my report. Tomorrow night I believe it's the county irrigation meeting as well. So.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the update. Anyone else?
Madam Mayor, may I have the floor?
Yes.
At the last council meeting, when we brought up our software contract to be updated for financial and time cards, Mr. Shandretto had some questions regarding the contract as to how long they keep our information and stuff. And I did reach out to them, so just to give you guys an update. They won't delete our information if we ever do decide to go with another software. They will archive it. And if and when we ever do decide to go to another software, they will give us the files to incorporate into that new software, and they will keep it in archives. However, if it's only for, I think, a year that we will have access to it. So if we ever need something after that year, we will have to pay to get it again, but they will not delete it. They will keep it. And we don't get extra charge for going to the cloud. That's where they will keep it. So just wanted to give you guys an update on that.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. If there are no other comments, then I would accept a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
And I'm a second to that.
Okay, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Okay.
Ellsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Good night.